a fucking face plant onto a curb. No, it was like some. It was one of those things where everybody gets an award because I was in this. It was this like a college prep program for like disadvantaged kids, and so we
are live.
Stayed in the dorms at UCSD.
Got it.
And learned about science and college.
Stuff.
And then I got a paid internship over the summer, and then I went back to being poor and dropped out of high school. So
that's how you do it. That's the plan. So everyone, welcome to the Skill Floor podcast. I'm Matthew. I'm joined today with Alexander, who's here, and Aeneas, who's over there. Alexander, do you want to introduce yourself?
I think you just introduced me.
Yeah, but like, you know, if someone had to like, if someone was looking at your Tinder profile right now, what would it say?
Married?
Good. Perfect.
Hopefully the person looking at it isn't my wife. Yeah, no, okay, so I've been married long enough to not even know what I would put on a Tinder profile.
Got it.
Yeah, no, so my name is Alexander. And
when people give introductions, they either like they have something prepared, or they start doing like they're at like an AA meeting. Like, hi, my name is Alexander, and I'm an addict.
How did I end up here drinking this milk tea and rum concoction that you have here in front of me?
Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, no, so I guess I don't have anything prepared, but I'm pretty smart and attractive, and
I can vouch for that.
I hate the police. So
Okay.
yeah.
I cannot vouch for that. I cannot vouch for that, guys.
As someone who's not a cop, I do not feel hatred, so I'm gonna
Can you
say
stay
that
closer to the microphone,
yeah,
please?
it's accurate.
Yeah. Do you need my address as well?
You're gonna blow it up.
Oh, don't go.
Jesus.
Please stand back from the microphone. Actually.
Yeah, so what usually how it goes is that we have like 3 people huddled into each other on the couch, and just the 2 microphones are kind of vaguely pointed in their direction, and you can hear like every ruffle of their clothing, every beautiful,
every
delicious
crunch
ruffle. Yeah, it's a great time. I guess to get us started, so you know that there's a Wonder Woman movie out now.
Yes.
Captain Woman, Captain
I've
Magical.
seen the trailer for it.
Okay. How does it look?
Looks pretty good. Strong women, good thing.
Yep. Okay.
Not in the kitchen. Great. Amazing. That's the first step.
Yeah, that's.
Someone pointed out that it's like the first time that we have like a female superhero, like an all-girls Ghostbuster cast. Like
dude, don't bring up Ghostbusters,
okay, but, like,
please.
still,
that doesn't
still,
count.
No, it's still like it's a good thing still. Even if the movie didn't do super well and like people didn't really like it, it's important that people are trying.
fucking-
Well, I'm like really upset with Ghostbusters for actually sucking, because I was really looking forward to just hating everybody who was hating it in spite of everything because it was women, and then like I watched it and I was like, oh you
come on.
Well,
you had a chance. You could have made this really good.
Yeah, all right.
I was rooting for you guys.
Yeah, I was.
I think that's there was like a weird there's things that that you can celebrate that are like missing the point completely, and celebrating the movie being bad was like you're just making it worse for everybody
You're
else.
proving it
Yeah.
that you were
This is
wrong.
bad.
Come on.
Yeah.
No effort whatsoever.
What if I told you that Wonder Woman was good? 1. And 2, that it.
Wait, first, you like superhero movies?
Okay, so yeah, that was gonna be like
That's the baseline of this.
That was gonna be my witty rejoinder, right? It's like when you say good, is that on like a scale from like the bad Spider-Man to like Iron Man 3, or is that on a scale that includes like Elevator to the Gallows and like Le Cercle Rouge and like Citizen Kane?
Yeah, no, so it's not like it's not a movie that people are going to be looking back on it in future generations and being like, this is what a movie looks like.
Right.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
This is like young directors aren't going to be pulling out their pocketbooks and scribbling down director's notes for this movie.
Okay, but it's but as far as these things go,
it's spectacle, and it does spectacle in a way that I think was fresh and looked really good, and
it was kind of funny.
Yeah, I like there were funny bits to it.
The ending was bullshit.
Yeah, the ending was really bad, but
endings. I got a thing about endings. I got a whole rant prepared.
Oh, okay.
But go on.
Okay.
Not yet.
It's coming.
Yeah. We've got to wait for a moment when the silence fills in, and then he'll be like, all right, now it's
endings.
time.
Oh, guys, you want to talk about endings?
He's charging up for the super. But one of the things they did really well is that I think a tendency that happens if you have so the whole point of Wonder Woman, she's from this island that nobody ever has been to besides the Amazonians that live there. And one of the cool things that they do is there's a whole bit where she gets to London. and people are like they have to like dress her up in a dress because London,
They have to.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
super
Or
important.
suit.
yeah, like
Wait,
like,
when does it? It takes place in like old timey days,
yeah, so
right?
it's World War One.
World War One. Okay.
Yeah, so like she
Wait, Nazis.
no,
No, that's
Germany.
two.
Germany, you're right.
Yeah, but not Nazis.
Not Nazis. Not yet.
That's why like
Germany sucks, but not quite as much
Not
as it
yet.
will.
Not that bad.
Yeah.
they still it feels one of the things that was funny was like, oh, this is World War II at first, and then I'm like, that's not. Then they said like the bad guy's name, and I'm like, oh, that's not Hitler. Like, there's no way this could be World War II, right? Oh no, no one prepared you for chat.
Oh, was I
God.
supposed to be? Was I supposed to get like a?
No, well, that's chat. That's people watching us right now.
Yeah. So they can.
Oh, I'm supposed to be paying attention to them.
You don't have to, but it's like you should look once in a while. You should say like, oh hey, thanks.
So if someone's like, "Oh, you got a
Matt Cat,
booger
you're
in
so
your nose."
funny. You're so yeah. If someone's like, oh Alexander, like close your legs, you should also just be like, oh guys, yeah, I see you're doing it already.
Fan service.
Sometimes there are people that come in and they come in with the intent purpose of like talking shit.
Mm.
You gotta like shape up for that too. Looking at you.
I like this Mad Cat guy.
That's a girl.
Oh, this. Oh my god!
Misgendered already.
Wow!
First time,
Wow!
She's an attack helicopter.
That's like my. Okay. Well,
It's all right. It's off to a good start.
it's cool. I think
Yeah.
I just got a direct message from my Red Pill account. Hang on a second. This isn't a cell phone. It's our mom.
dang, it's actually the preferred method of red pilling.
Yeah,
red pill
yeah.
messaging because they can't get involved. Like no one else can read the messages.
Right.
Can't get censored if no one can understand what we're saying.
Oh god, I'm getting called out right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on. You were saying about World War One.
One of the things that a lot of movies do when they have like a person who's not familiar with society is they like, oh, you're dopey and an idiot, and like you don't know anything about our world, and that's where we're gonna get humor from.
Oh right, like the fish out of water.
Yeah,
Right,
but
yeah.
like back in the day, like it was like Squanto. Squanto has no idea what's going on, and he's like Native American, and it's funny because he's an idiot Native American.
Right.
What they did with Wonder Woman that was really good was that she knows about the world, but like she doesn't understand like the reasons that people are doing things. So like, why do women have to wear these dresses? She like knows that like fashion is a thing. They even like talk about like sex at one point and have like a conversation about like genitals, which is fine.
Nice air quotes around genitals.
My penis.
It's the exact words they say. It's kind of funny, but at no point is she ever come off as stupid. She just like is like, oh no, you guys are dumb. Like you're not going to tell me how to like live like this, which I thought was really cool and something they did really well.
It's not like it's not the humor isn't like, oh no, I'm not conforming to these like correct social codes. It's more like, wow, your social codes are hella dumb,
yeah.
like way dumb.
Yeah, like really
that's cool.
fucking stupid. The movie still pulls kind of like a weird like love is the end all kind of.
Oh
thing
right, yeah.
at-
I mean, you gotta fall in love.
Like I feel like you have to put it in, but I really felt like the movie would have done a lot better, or had like a much stronger message if it didn't go that way. Just because one of the big themes of the movie is that human beings are gray. Like there is no like we're not good fundamentally. We're a little bit in between, and she struggles with that. Like she kills the like big bad or whatever, and war is supposed to stop, and everyone's supposed to be happy again, and war still goes on, and she's like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, that's good.
And at the end, she, it's like love that like empowers her and makes her make a decision about like what she wants to do next, which I felt was like cop outish.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. There's a number of like levels you can talk about that kind of stuff on, right? Like on the one hand, there's just like the like super cynical, like, well, that's big budget movies for you. Like they've got their paint by numbers, and there's
Yeah.
only so far that they're able to go. What did I think of Ghost in the Shell, the original? Wait, I'm sorry. I was talking about something that was important. And I think that that's like that level of analysis like matters, right? But I think that there's that I don't like the chat. It totally distracted me and I lost my train of thought. Fuck you, Mutiny Teddy. Too much fan service in Ghost in the Shell. Otherwise good. Don't need that many titties in my my
Anime.
Anime.
Your anime serial.
I mean, in any film. See, that's the thing, is you can't like judge anime as like its own magic thing. Oh no, I am absolutely not. Fuck her. Fuck that. I was told not to talk about politics, but fuck white feminism and fuck Zionists. So yeah, fuck that. Women of color feminism all the way. So and yeah,
I
fuck
believe no
apartheid.
rules have been broken yet.
No,
I don't
we're
know
okay.
where we stand now.
Someone in chat was directly like, "Hey, yeah, so are you gonna condone Gal Gadot's stance on Zionism?"
Yeah.
Like someone was basically like, "Alexander."
I mean, my name was in it. Like, yeah, I had to respond, but
That is an extremely pointed question. That sounds
like
like
you-
that's from someone you know.
I don't know.
That has to be from someone
What's
you
the
know.
username? I can't read it.
Keaton.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. It feels like a very
Like a
pointed
softball.
shot. So Alexander, tell me, how do you feel about racism? Are you pro or con? It just
The one thing you're not supposed to talk about this show. Let's
Yeah.
ask a guess.
Yeah.
that was
I'm
actually a
against
test. You
it.
have to get out now.
Oh shit. That was a plant
all
from you.
along.
Yeah.
No, but no, I think that well, actually, good segue. What about, speaking of superhero movies? How do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about this Black Panther movie who the trailer just dropped?
First thing, the poster, awful.
Was it the
It,
one
lo-
where
it
they
looked
badly
like
photoshopped
it
the head
looked like
onto the-
fan art and
Yeah.
like shitty fan art.
It's bad Photoshop, but have you seen it next to that famous picture of Huey Newton?
No.
Oh yeah, it's
So-
like a direct call out to this famous picture of Huey P. Newton.
Who is Huey P. Newton?
Huey P. Newton was one of the founders of the Black Panthers.
Got it. Let's Google it. Oh, so that's weird. That feels kind of like a good like a reference to something, but also like you know, there's probably going to be at some point like the guy who thought of that was like a white guy who was trying to reclaim or use that image.
Wait, what white guy? What?
So the fact that there's like a Marvel movie tapping into that image, into that culture.
So directed by a black guy.
Got it.
It's I believe that there are a number of people of African descent who are involved in like the writing, and then obviously like the cast is almost all almost entirely people of African descent. So I think that like yeah, there is that point to be made, but one thing is I also kind of defer to communities of color and like fucking stoked from like everybody that I've been talking to. And I mean, it's like it look just judging from it's hard to judge just from the trailer, but it looks like a really dope representation. Like it looks really cool, strong women, strong. Like I love that dude in the fucking suit with the lip disc that matches his suit, and he's gonna fucking kill you.
So
It's
good,
cool.
yeah. I mean, I think that in general, like all the superhero movies have kind of run out of like, quote unquote, like very white stories to tell. Like they're starting to look toward like including more diversity to be able to tap into some of the narratives that don't get so much exposure. I think we saw part of that in Wonder Woman, where it was like, yo, this is like your society's stupid. Like we need to like there's things that you could be doing right now to make things better.
Just not have wars. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, there's like I was saying before, right? Like there is the cynical like approach, like answer, which is that these are markets, right? And that the business side of filmmaking has like finally wised up to the fact that there's like there's untapped markets there. And so like, yeah, it's pandering, right? It's like, okay, fine. It's gotten to the point where we can actually make money on like a movie about a woman or a movie about black people.
But at what point is pandering acceptance? Like is like understanding even? So like if the trade-off is like, oh yeah, well, they're pandering, but also we get to see stuff like this. Like I'm so down with like getting to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
for a little bit of pandering.
Yeah, I think that's a fair trade-off. As long as it's not grotesque or like like very very poorly done. I think that there are examples of poorly done movies like that extend all across cinema, where like the movie studio is like, oh, we can cash in on this thing. Let's cash in on this thing. But
well, one thing that I think is so like always leave it to me to like bring shit around to like early 20th century pop culture. But there was this at first it was a radio show, and then it was a television show called Amos and Andy.
yeah,
And it is fucking horrible. right? It's like this horrible racist minstrel show bullshit, right? Super super racist. And but the actors playing Amos and Andy in the television adaptation of it were black. And so there's this like really interesting thing that kind of happens where on the one hand it's like totally pandering, it's totally racist. It doesn't even achieve pandering, right? It's like, but it was the first time that like people of African descent in the United States could turn on the TV and see people who look like them on TV, you know?
Shit.
And so like the Cosby Show too, right? Like total
Father of America.
Oreo, like BS.
Right.
But again, it's like, it's representation. I think that representation is an important step. And so like on the one hand, you've got like, yeah, you know, just this like yes, it's pandering. Yes, it can be appropriative, although that's kind of complicated by the fact that the Black Panther is being directed by a black director. But at the same time, finally, we're seeing women-centric movies and black-centric movies that focus
also,
on
like,
that.
You know, I think that just in general, like if you're going to start like overturning like this paradigm in cinema, like you've got to make concessions. I think initially, and I think like Amos and Anthony, that's the name.
Amos
of it.
and Andy, but yeah,
Mm-hmm. It's like that's that is them making a concession so they can get out there and do something like that. And even if the moral isn't intentional, like the fact that they begin to overturn some of the ideas like around like black people in popular culture begins to shape and form kind of like this, like basically overturns public perspective in a way. Like maybe, like maybe this is okay, like maybe it's fine if they do this, and then at some point in the near future, and we're seeing it now, I think some of the excuses or the feelings that people have begin to go away, and they start to be more welcoming to it.
See, here's somebody weaking out because we're doing real cultural analysis on media. See, this isn't political. We're not talking about voting. We're talking about like the actual function that this media has in our culture. And I think that like that's important. Like just being cool with representation for women and people of color is like too political and unacceptable. I mean, feel free to say that that's the case. We can move away.
So like the thing is like, I agree. Like when I say like, oh yeah, like political on the podcast, what I'm really saying is like, don't express political opinions, like period that would affect someone's like ability to vote or to make choices.
Right.
Like don't talk about like huge issues that are going on in the world. Like, really it's kind of like a way to make sure the conversation stays like relevant. Because ultimately like what we're here to talk about is like movies and video games.
Yeah.
Like for sure, like we can, we talk about penises like 70% of the time.
I love penises.
Yeah, they're great.
I have one.
But like, I think part of that also, because we talk about movie and talk about video games, is also race in movies and video games, and that's, I think, fair.
Well, I think that it's we respect. I think that we respect movies and video games enough to take them seriously, right? I think that that's the thing that a lot of people don't like about applying like a real cultural analytical lens to these media is, or that they don't quite get, is that like they want to take them on 100% their own terms without, and there's somehow like, I'm not really sure what it is where people feel attacked or threatened when we say like, no, we really do think that film and video games are important enough that they do matter.
Yeah.
They're not just, they don't exist in a bubble on your computer or on your
of course
TV.
not.
Yeah.
It's a global thing, esports, and
Yeah.
communities being born behind video games.
Absolutely.
Like it's a very alive and thriving thing that just died from one day to another. It's incredible.
Like popular media, and this is nothing groundbreaking or new, but popular media has always acted as like a tap into the collective unconscious of like a society. So you can tell a lot by a culture by the things that they enjoy doing and watching. Video games and movies are absolutely no exception. So it's important. So like with Wonder Woman and Black Panther taking on minority perspectives, like that comes from somewhere. That is
Right.
That is evolving from something, and because it's something that's happening that's affecting DC movies and Marvel movies, it's something that I think that
Right.
evolves naturally and comes into the conversation.
Also, I guess the catalyst is just the superhero movies, right? The catalyst being
Yeah, and
the resurgence of all that.
superhero movies too, which like are so much about like what can mankind be at its best, or like what is mankind like at its worst. Like naturally,
both,
you're gonna
yeah.
run into questions about things like this, and like of course with Gal, you're gonna run into issues with her personal perspectives. That no, definitely, but like you should still be able to take a step back, I think, from like her as a person and look at the character that she played and the movie as a whole with all the people behind it that are not her, and be able to say like, oh yeah, like okay, like this is good.
Yeah, and we move forward.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, we pretty much we put it in the rules before where it's like or we put it in the rules down below where it's like, don't be racist, and that comes from a genuine desire to have like meaningful conversations about stuff like this. One of the I went to TwitchCon last year, and I talked to a guy who he does like D&D streams, and he talks a lot about Dungeons and Dragons, and he does like a weekly like Q&A for Dungeons and Dragons questions. And he was talking about how like you can't have meaningful discussions on Twitch about stuff because like chat just like fucking loses it.
Oh,
like,
right. Especially when you're a big channel, you can't read that shit.
yeah. So
there's too many people in.
that's like one of those things where it's like, well, what if we want to talk about it too? So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you know.
of course, the podcast that you come to is the podcast where we have to confront, like, what does political mean inside
hey,
of the
I
stream?
didn't. I just
You're gonna
came
leave
here.
Such precedent here.
But I mean, well, anyway, let's talk about something like a little bit more like specific and grounded. Like, was the topic just
The Mummy?
Wonder Woman, or was it?
Well,
Oh God, I heard about the ending.
Yeah, the ending of the Mummy.
Yeah,
Was it?
that he lays the mummy, or
Oh
like bangs the mummy or something to
God.
defeat her. I'm like, she can't. She's all powerful, but she can't take Tom Cruise's dick. What is this?
So the Mummy.
I'm a big fan of Brendan Fraser. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Oh
know,
my God! Bring him back! Bring him back!
I don't know if you know this, but the Mummy is actually an attempt to. They have an attempt to actually bring like a cinematic universe together. So like the Mummy is going to be
like their horror universe.
Yeah, it's like the Dark Universe cinematic universe that has like werewolf in it. Vampire.
Is that really gonna happen?
So that's the goal. And if you actually, I heard at the beginning of the Mummy that they actually like flash like a huge thing where it's like part of the Dark Universe cinematic universe.
Wait, whoa, wait! Dark Universe cinematic? What?
it's like
It's like the movie monster. 'cause it's-
Frankenstein. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the
Oh,
old
okay,
movie
yeah, yeah,
monsters,
yeah.
like Dracula Untold.
So like the creature from the Black Lagoon,
Right,
the
right, right.
Wolfman, and Dracula.
Oh,
and-
what's the studio that makes those movies? Shit.
that is Universal.
There you go, Universal. Yeah.
yeah, there we go. It's
Universal, yeah.
Universal's attempt to
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Someone brought up before that there was like they were like sitting around like everyone's got cinematic universes. Like we need to put
We need to
something
make
together.
something.
I'm gonna.
It's like, what do we have? We have Waterworld. We have Back to the Future.
I don't
we
know.
have all the movie
Movie, the
monsters.
ride.
I don't know how this is gonna play with your audience, but fuck cinematic universes. Like, just I'm sorry. It's like it's so cynical. Like it's so. It's like it's as though the studios have just completely given up on film as art. And I'm not saying that every movie
Oh,
has to be
that's-
art.
that's
I'm not
sort
saying
of
every movie has to be
pretentious.
art.
It's just-
no, but a film as like a unit, like it's a thing, and I don't know.
Look, you with a cinematic universe as a scaffolding, you can tell stories that you weren't able. You can do movies that you weren't able to do before. Avengers only works because there were like 10 fucking movies that happened before it. Hold on, yeah, just give it like a perfect, maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like Avengers only works because there are like 10 fucking movies that introduced each of the characters before that.
No, see, but this is again like it like no, that's not true, right? Like because you don't actually have to spend a fucking entire movie explaining the origin story of every fucking superhero that everybody knows already like the back of their hand.
Oh,
I can
okay.
tell you what movie Batman's parents were coming out of when they were killed, and so can anybody else on the street. Like, we don't need an origin story. How many times have we seen Spider-Man's goddamn origin story in
Uncle
film?
Ben, no.
No, Batman's is
Overdone,
the worst.
way overdone, yeah.
It's true. Every single movie that's like every time they do Batman, it's always like, we need to make sure people understand why Batman is sad. Like, you
gotta kill his parents again.
Nobody knows it yet. Yeah, and the beginning of Batman versus Superman 2, it was fucking like, it was like 10 minutes of like slow-mo CGI murder where like you see like the bullet like inside of the gun, and then
Oh
you
my
zoom
God.
out,
The
like,
necklace
a wide
is
shot.
popping
Yeah,
off.
the necklace, it's like super slow-mo, like the credit music is playing.
I
and
know
it's
all the
supposed to
way
be sad.
down, all the way down to the like stylistic elements of the pearl necklace. It's like we get it, and Haley, like, or H Manbeck, whoever that is, like. I like origin movies too. Like, that sounds cool. Like, you can do an origin movie, but you don't have to, right? Like, you don't. It's not as though like nobody's gonna understand who Superman is unless you like
Right.
tell them again.
Is
You
that
know.
Clark Kent or Superman? I don't know.
So Superman for me is tough because I think with Superman you sort of need to like talk about what direction your Superman movie is going to go before you do the Superman movie. For example, Red Sun starts
That's a
off
whole
with him
complete other-
landing
Look,
in
Wait,
Russia.
wait. Are they gonna do a Red Sun movie?
They're not. No.
God,
but
I
but
gotta-
Come on. Oh man.
Sorry.
I was
Yeah, whoa.
calm your beating communist heart. But Red Sun starts and he lands in Russia, and you sort of know the direction that the story is going to go.
Right.
If you start a Superman movie and you're just like, oh, he's Superman, he's gonna do stuff. The movie's gonna be him shooting lasers through everything, beating everything up, and then never dying. And like maybe at some point they're gonna threaten his family, which will be the only way they can hurt him. That's the whole movie.
Martha!
Yeah.
But that's Superman. I mean, Superman was like comic books figuring out what a superhero was. And we're like,
His name is Superman.
and then being like,
please.
"Oops, we created God."
We have no way to like have conflict with him because he just beats it. And they're like,
Right.
what
He
if
just
we have
takes-
a rock that hurts him?
Also, he's pretty weak to magic.
Yeah.
Oh, is he can magic?
Yeah, he's weak to magic.
Oh, all
It's
right.
like the like Pokemon.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a chart. It's like,
Magic hurts him.
what's Doctor Strange weak against?
Actually books.
Oh, like you just smack him in the face with a book, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh."
He can't cast powers on anyone holding a book.
Really?
And it actually works on.
Here
No,
I
he's
am in this
bluffing.
like
He's
comic book
bluffing.
movie like podcast. I don't even know these like basic facts about.
Yeah, no,
Superheroes.
it actually extends to Kindles too, which is surprising. You wouldn't think
You're
that.
making this up.
He's making it up.
Wait, were you making
I'm
this up
telling
from the
you,
very
he's making it up.
beginning?
No, it's a plot point in the movie.
You haven't
where
seen the movie.
someone goes to like throw him off of a cliff, and he's about to do it, and then the guy pulls out a Kindle and is like, "You can't do this to me," and he's like, I gotta figure out another way to do this. So he throws rocks at him and knocks him off.
I lost interest. I was reading the screen. Sorry, what?
It's okay. He's fine. But yeah, so so the Dark Universe, they're trying to make it
Oh,
a
yeah.
thing to cash in on that.
Well,
I guess like more power to them. I think so DC's having problems with it. Like Wonder Woman by and far is like the best movie that has come out of their attempts to like universe up. The TV shows have been really good. I think we've seen a lot of like value out of like Arrow. Like I think
Until
people,
the end.
People like Arrow.
Until the end.
People watch so people watch Arrow. People watch Gotham. People watch those
The
shows.
Flash.
Yeah.
People watch Jessica Jones.
Yeah. But that's
Netflix.
I feel like we're entering this really interesting phase of television that's the like mass market prestige show, if that makes sense.
Is it television? Because television is
Well,
not
okay,
dying,
sure.
but like
I
everyone's
mean like
claimed the court.
Netflix, right? Like,
Right.
that counts, right?
Right.
So you kind of had this like this really interesting pivot where you got the rise of the prestige show where you've got high budget per episode, you've got writers being given the reins, emphasis on character and narrative, and
them doing a good job.
then good television basically.
Right.
But now a lot of these ones that you're talking about, like I'm seeing this proliferation, particularly on Netflix, of like a lot of like good TV, but there's like so much of it
Yeah.
to the point where and then you watch some of it and you're kind of like, oh, this is kind of, I guess not.
super into this.
Yeah,
but
like-
because there's so much good stuff. that
Yeah,
then something's
the-
not
the
as
bar is
good.
raised.
Everything,
Yeah.
So like everything has to compete against like Westworld. Everything has
Or
to
Game of Thrones.
Everything has to compete against like these huge budget television shows, and Netflix has really bunkered down on that and said like, okay, we want to be inside of this market, especially because now people don't have to pay like the $20 a year or whatever it is for Netflix. Now you can pay like the $8 a month, whatever it is for Netflix, and you can sit down. Sorry, I said Netflix twice. You can bunker down, you can get Netflix, and you can have access to the same quality of television. That's how we're going to beat out like HBO. And it's true, like no one has ever gotten rich selling luxury cars. Like the companies that have made it off of selling commercially acceptable cars and then also selling luxury cars. And
Right.
Netflix is gearing towards that kind of strategy, and it's working super well. Like the shows they canceled, like the Get Down, Sense8.
I can't believe they canceled the Get Down. Oh man.
But yeah, shows that are really really good that a lot of people would agree were very high quality. They canceled them because they have other shows that are doing better. Like that is boggling to me. Like
We're
the shows
doing
that are
too
canceled
good.
aren't even bad.
We're doing too good. We're sorry.
yeah, I mean it's interesting because I feel like you're also getting in, yeah, right. Where do you get
$20
cable for $20?
So
a year?
So I pay for internet and cable in the same package. So I don't know how much each of those things cost, but I know that my internet is more expensive than my cable. So I don't know. In my head I'm just like, oh yeah, $20 for cable.
Just whatever, you know.
It's like
throw some pennies at a hobo
It's like
and
$5 for phone, $15-20 for cable, and then like $100 for internet.
Right.
That's what in my head.
But this thing is totally distracting. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe part of it is that there's this kind of paint by numbers because like so media like studios are always like you have these cycles where you've got like groundbreaking, like artistic, like cool shit, and then people like that because they're like, oh wow, this is different and it's actually good. And then because they're big business ventures and they're super risk averse, they just do this like paint by numbers version of that over and over and over again.
Right.
And so I
And that
think
gets
you're
watered down, yeah.
right. So you're starting to see it, I think, in the like the prestige television and stuff like on platforms like Netflix and maybe to a lesser extent like HBO and the others, where like they're trying to do the same thing and of where they've got like these like long overarching storylines and they've got like edgy character stuff going on and all this stuff, and I think that we're gonna look back in like 10 years and we're gonna be like, wow, American Gods wasn't that great,
Yeah. But also like Netflix is also doing stuff like they picked up Trailer Park Boys and are like rolling with Trailer Park Boys, which is totally like a totally unique show in its own right. And we also see the success of things like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is very similar to Trailer Park Boys. But like while there is obviously like almost like a meta genre of like this is prestige movie narrative where you get like a little bit of story, you're intrigued, and so you want to get to more intrigue, and then some more stuff happens, and that's fine. And I think that's a great way of doing a series. There is room for creativity out there, and I do think that we see that. And some of the more successful shows are shows that abuse and take advantage of stuff like that. And even if you aren't into those, there's still anime. Like there's an ocean of stuff in Japan that's so weird and out there. Like I've been watching My Hero Academia, which is a like retelling of Western superhero stories but as anime, and it's super good. It's really good. Yeah.
I mean, between the body pillow and the anime
If you
tangents,
look
I don't
over
know.
there.
My name's
Ooh,
Matthew,
yeah,
and I like
yeah.
movies
And anime.
and anime.
Anime.
Yeah. It's like if it was my Tinder list, it would be like I'm Matthew and I like movies. Enter, and anime. So they have to scroll down really far for it.
I like that we're being called out for using $5 words, like $10 words, like out of our budget. Like, no worry, no concern about that. But these $5 words, like they got like 2, maybe 3 syllables, way beyond the budget
We've
for.
exhausted it. Yeah. Yeah, we do need to iron the green screen or like soup it up. It used to have stuff on it. We used to use the DSLR to shoot, and it was fine. But now with the camera that we have, we don't have to get up and tinker with every once in a while.
So why is there a green screen if you're not going to be
Porn.
putting weird stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
Porn, like
You want to be
total-
fucking somebody in space or at the beach?
in a
Yes.
desert?
You're like one
Please.
click away from that.
Yeah.
Can you?
There's actually also a window behind it. into the next apartment over. We move it. We just look inside. It's really creepy.
Hey, hi neighbors.
How's it going, guys? So there's Oh man, I'm so tired. Good. So the other part of this too. There's a thing happening right now. It's pretty big in video games. Do you happen to know what it is?
A big thing in video games.
It's going on right now. It's an event.
Oh, it's all those E's, right? There's like four or five of them.
Yeah,
There's several E's, I know.
It's six,
there's more than
six
one.
E's, yeah.
There's more than one for
Yeah.
sure.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, so Aeneas is going on
Thursday.
Thursday.
Just one day.
He's gonna head out there.
Cool.
go.
Where's it being held?
It's in LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so it's super close. But I have a few questions for you
Oh yes. by all means, yeah.
about what's the new developments in gaming that we've seen.
Yeah.
What feature did Madden recently add to its newest game?
You can throw the football now.
Oh my god.
He's on it. He nailed it.
He
Yeah.
knows. EA, hire that guy.
Yeah. They added a single player campaign where you get to play as a young person trying to break into the football world. And you play like a campaign of them
Really?
becoming a famous
No, that's
football
fascinating. That's really interesting because that's like that's like kind of a big pivot back from. I mean, multiplayer. I mean, you saw games scrapping single player campaigns for a long time, and now to go to like take
People,
Take-
you know, a full game isn't.
So
Just
what,
Right.
multiplayer now.
when did the first Madden come out? It was like
1990 something. 90s.
Yeah.
It's got to be like 97,
90s.
98 or something like that, right?
And this is a game that like
Hard.
defines multiplayer from day one.
Yeah.
You know.
So like, you open up Madden, you play against your friend, you play online. And it's
You
been
get
like
shut
that
on.
since like 97, 98. And every year they add in the new football players.
It's a $60
they adjust the
DLC patch.
Yeah. And
It's a $60 DLC
so
patch.
now they actually have like a single player campaign that they're gonna throw in that you get to play. And it looks like the trailer was weird. It was like very emotional. Like very Friday Night Lights.
You're never
where it's
gonna
like
play
the
football
guy's like,
again.
you know, the coach like kicks the chair over in one of the bits, and players just out there like, oh.
So these frat guys doing bong rips, like, are they really being moved by this like kids like story?
What's the story? Yeah. What's the narrative tale? Do you know what that is?
No.
Good. Don't.
Metroid.
Oh, that's a good guess, but no.
I mean, it's kind of close.
Think Blizzard.
You tried. So EA's next co-op adventure has two characters trying to do what?
So there's like a lot of walls, and they have to get to the other side of the walls.
Oh man, you are very close.
I don't even know.
actually.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Good thing you didn't ask me because fuck, I would have
It's
been
just a
lost.
remake of Eco, right?
No, so the story is called. The game is called, get out or something. I don't remember. This is terrible. I have the quiz. I don't remember the name.
Yeah, you're like trying to do these gotchas, and you don't even got it.
He's googling it at this moment.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Chat, save him.
It's about two guys that are trying to break out of prison.
Oh,
and
that's
it's a co-op game where you guys have to. It's basically
Is
Shawshank
it-
Redemption.
I was gonna say Prison Break. but
The
whatever.
co-op, also Prison Break, the co-op challenge, which is cool. Yeah, I'm trying to see if someone has information on the game.
I like.
Of course.
I think it's good to encourage people to break out of prison. Definitely.
If you do it in Mexico, that's a law. You're looking for your own freedom, so they can't catch
Yeah.
you.
You don't get extra time.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, why would anyone not try to break out of prison?
And Chapo did it. It's like he's gone.
Yeah. Like if
he
they
did.
catch you, you just have to finish your original sentence.
Yeah, yeah.
Does the time you spent outside of prison count towards your sentence?
No, I
No.
think that's like
They're
a
not gonna
pause.
they're not gonna actively look for you. They got other shit to do. Oh, he's gone.
He's out. Yeah.
Whatever.
It's like the cop sees you and they're just like, not paying
We'll
enough.
get him later.
Yeah.
We got other shit. To
We
do.
know where he shops now. It's
Yeah.
cool. One of these days we'll do it.
He's actually really nice.
Oh, El Chapo,
Yeah,
your friend of his.
Yeah.
I'm not
the
sure.
police.
I am not sure.
The police like.
Oh, is that the guy that was hiding in the other room? Really?
Yeah. No, whoa.
Stay in the tunnel right now.
There's gonna be helicopters and flashing lights over. You can now watch this podcast live on Fox News.
That's how you get the
Oh,
multicam.
just have policemen run in.
They told Homigel if he got his presents.
What's going on?
I don't even know. I'm not following chat.
So I think that narrative is really important in video games.
Okay.
I think that point and click adventures, after their long hiatus, will be coming back because VR is the perfect medium for them to discuss.
You had a VR experience.
I did.
Forgot about that. Yeah. So point and clicks, yes, they work super well inside of VR.
Oh, yeah.
I do think that the reason they work super well right now and we don't see other stuff is because people don't know how to do the other genres in VR.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. You gotta reimagine everything.
And point and clicks, like, you know, they're super straightforward. They make sense for you know, exploring a space.
Horror.
Although, you know what would be fantastic is like a Day of the Tentacle or any of the old like Lucas
like an
Arts.
actual remake.
Yeah, that was
Oh
in
yeah.
VR.
The Dig in VR.
Yeah.
Oh my
Nancy Drew.
god.
Would be super good. Wait, what did you say?
Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew.
So I had a friend who was a girl that I dated actually. Friend is weird. That was really into Nancy Drew games, and I gave her so much shit for it for like 5 or 6 months, and she's like, all right, just sit down and play one. There was a scene where you like look in a mirror and then you turn around and you look back in the mirror and there's a girl hanging there. She made me play it at night. I had headphones on. I screamed like it was the most miserable, horrifying experience in my entire life. Yeah, it got me. Nancy Drew, scary. Give it
Don't play.
six scares out of 10. Boring, terribly boring. One of the worst things I've ever done with my time, but scary.
Well, I did not know that there was a Nancy Drew video game.
There's like a whole series.
There's
of
really?
Nancy Drew point and
Yeah.
clicks. Yeah.
No
There's
kidding.
like 10, 15
Several.
of them, dude.
That's
There's
really
so many.
interesting.
I sat down and at least looked at like all like 1 or 2 of them. If you're looking for skill floor mugs, they are not for sale.
You would have to blow
It's just
Brian.
these ones, yeah. Brian designed them. I don't know what he did with the designs, and he's in LA now. I could call him, but he wouldn't answer. Brian,
He's too popular now.
So Brian ditched us to go to a Kingdom Hearts concert.
When you walk
Yeah.
away.
Oh, that's tonight.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Oh,
tonight.
really?
Man,
Where?
I was really looking
LA.
forward to seeing
Oh
Brian. I
my
thought he was going to
God,
be here. If
fuck.
I had known it was just going to be you assholes, I wouldn't have driven all the way to
sorry.
the South Bay.
Sound like Brian
I
talks to you at the
feel,
office.
you know, it's funny. I feel the same thing every day when I go to work.
Oh,
I'm like, I gotta go look at everyone who I work with today. It's gonna be awful.
Oh, it's Thursday? Oh, there's pastries
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah,
Thank you,
for our fans who are following the meta narrative of the skill floor as though we were pro wrestlers, we all actually work in the same place.
yeah,
Ben. In the same porn studio, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
so that's a weird thing. You're actually the first person from work. I had a big thing too when it started SDCR, like where I was like, I'm not gonna.
Ooh,
tell,
shout out! That was a plug.
yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna tell anybody that I'm doing this.
It was like the first thing you told us.
You silly
because
Oh,
so
boy.
here's what happened. Kimball was like, "Oh yeah, like I'm really into Rooster Teeth," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm into them too. I sort of do something similar in my off time." And he was
nice.
like,
Yeah, thanks by the way for doxing us.
I've regularly referenced this address in videos and in previous things, and
Yes.
things that are close by this place.
Fucking Dylan Roof is about to walk through the door.
Yeah.
Talking about black people in film. Sorry, go on.
Sorry, we're super bad about it too. Like I think in the first few podcasts we really tried to use everyone's like online name, but my online handle is Envelope Spooner, which is cumbersome to say. Yours is
Ryomi.
which is, and fucking Brian's is Resin. Every time you want to reference Brian, you say Resin, your tongue goes numb. It's horrendous.
Does Brian
Horrendous
smoke
online
that
name.
much weed?
It's what it feels like.
He's doing that right now at the concert.
Yeah. When you walk away.
Where is this
She's
concert,
playing,
by the way?
she's playing Sanctuary.
So, all right, we're moving away from the broad appeal and into the black hole of our own personal lives at this point. No, we're gonna lose followers here.
No, people love it.
WWF
they do.
not dead. Last one standing who wins. Definitely Wonder Woman in this one.
Yeah,
All
come
the-
on, that's not even a question.
Wonder Woman is the product of Clay and Zeus's spunk.
I don't know.
I don't know.
China's pretty strong. man.
China is the product of all of the WWF spunk and Clay, so it
Ugh.
kind of works out.
Oh, wah, boo! I disapprove.
I don't know. I think it'd be a close fight. I think Wonder Woman would take it though. Wonder Woman has a whip. China only has whatever killed her.
Whatever killed it.
I think that
Choking on semen.
think that China has more show personship. That word doesn't really work when you make
with-
it non-gender specific.
Well,
Show wondership.
Show ship.
China?
Show
I
ship.
can't combine the names.
All right.
I may her soul rest in peace. Sorry, China. I don't even like wrestling.
Do you like the gorgeous ladies of wrestling? Glow.
No.
There is
What?
in the 80s. All right, so right now on Netflix, look it up. Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. It is a documentary about the experiences of those women, and it is really a surprisingly interesting and at times moving documentary.
Thank you for sharing that. What things does it do?
I'm not gonna watch it.
Well, it tells you about their lives. And
Got it.
their,
Also,
like,
what
it was
smells so
weird.
great?
What smells so great?
Is it the coffee? Is that coffee?
It's cold and sad now. There's no
Well,
way what you're smelling
right.
as good as this.
No, I'm not kidding. That smells a lot. It's not you. You don't smell like that.
Like
I've
new-
smelled you before,
my brand new
motherfucker.
coffee cologne. It's all about delicious scents.
Do y'all know who Alupons is? Because
No.
I have no idea, man.
talking shit.
Yeah, fat unsuccessful Guillermo del Toro. Oh,
I know.
man, spot
You
on.
look-
I wanted to
Analysis
make sure you
hurts,
saw that
though.
Yeah.
before it scrolled away.
That burns. That burns.
I could just screenshot this and
They've
save
been-
it.
He's been calling me Benedict Cumberbumble.
Well,
So
it's-
that's
he-
kinda...
he-
Does
I
that
mean-
work?
Oh fuck. what
Here's
the-
the latest in loot.
Oh no,
Jesus.
Why are you touching that? You're fucking it up.
I don't think your face is like nearly lizard-like enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I'm like more conventionally attractive. you
I-
know?
I don't know what that means.
You look, so there's like the race of like the desert people in Dune. The way that you look is the way that I picture them. With like the only thing is that you don't have the weird blue eyes, or are covered in like suits to retain your water all the time. But like every time I'm like, oh yeah, Alexander, I think of them.
Okay. like
Is that an
that.
insult or?
I don't know.
Me neither.
I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I guess I'll
You
take
take-
it.
you
Be
take
a man
those.
of the desert. It's cool.
We take
desert-
those.
Those
desert
guys
man,
are chill.
for sure.
Yeah. So other things announced at E3. Of course, they did Battlefield.
Again?
Battlefront.
Battlefront.
Battlefront 2.
We get Star Wars again.
with more Star Wars.
More Star Wars, yeah.
I fucking hate it. Ugh,
Yeah. They have a racing game coming out that looks. It's like Need for Speed. Or
It is Need for
It
Speed.
is Need for Speed, but it is like Fast and the Furious. You get to play Vin Diesel as you like steal trucks and cars and
It's
stuff.
it's actually like licensed Fast and the Furious.
It's just
What a successful
the
franchise!
plot is
My
quickly
goodness.
lifted.
I know.
No one saw that coming. No one could have expected Fast and the Furious to be what it was.
He was a
Didn't call
two-movie
that.
contract.
It's right
deal.
in front of me. When I look forward, it's what I see. Sorry, go on. Fast and the Furious.
It's more like a Dalek. Like, you're not rotund, machine-like, or have a desire to murder everything. Like,
No, it's like when you open the Dalek and you see the like horrible little
Like-
deformed monster inside. That's me.
Got it. Drop that shit on your Tinder profile. But yeah, so of course, you know, they're gonna make a play for like the racing game stuff that's going on too. That's fine, I guess.
Did they say family during the trailer?
No, they didn't. No,
Did they
no
crack open a
reference
cold
to
one?
family. They did steal a car from a truck. You have to like drive up close to the truck, then someone gets out of your car and jumps onto it. That
It's just like a
sounds
QTE.
exciting.
yeah, it was cool, but it was also very like, oh yeah, this is definitely Fast and the Furious. Like I'm expecting Vin Diesel to walk out at any point inside of his helicopter and then drop down in a car and then win a race with a shitty car. Like the plot all felt like it was going to be in there.
and then walk out.
God,
You gotta sell out really hard.
it's the opportunity and time to do so.
You know what I want to do? I want to go to Disneyland, get on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and then leave. Because I hate Disneyland.
I'm actually really bummed they took away the Twilight Zone.
Terror.
Yeah,
I'm
Oh,
pretty
the
sure.
Tower, that was a good ride.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people. I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring in more people with this ride. They're like, it's time. The Twilight Zone is gone.
No
it's
one even
too
cares
old.
about
Yeah, nobody
Twilight
gives
Zone
a
anymore.
shit. Nobody cares.
People are
I
bringing
enjoyed
their
it.
kids.
I liked it. I like the Twilight Zone. It's the new kids, the new millennials.
I hate the new kids. They're so entitled, you know, they think that they deserve
their
a
iPads and
stable
iPhones.
economy and like
And jobs.
employment.
Yeah.
You
College.
know,
Ah,
I
come
know.
on,
They
please.
think they're entitled to these things.
They're trying to figure out where we are.
See, and actually, fucking, they're giving,
Well,
stop.
because we've directly
Stop
referenced
giving more information.
we've directly referenced like many of these things. We actually just got back from a bowling alley and a roller coaster park that were right next to each other before we stopped at a smoothie bar called Smoothie.
And Disneyland.
And there's a Payless Shoes right next to the place, actually. Actually, yeah, Disneyland is like down the road,
Right,
too.
you can hear the rides.
But yeah, so I'm bummed they scrapped it just because Twilight Zone, I never watched like a ton of it, but the things that I did watch really like, and
Also,
It's
the
great.
atmosphere,
Yeah,
the
it's
atmosphere for that ride is really good.
Yeah, where you're with the line when you're standing in line.
Yeah,
is, like,
and when you like
really
walk
so
in
cool.
after the first,
Yeah.
also they
Yeah.
show you the little clip.
and everything
Mm-hmm.
in there is a reference to a Twilight Zone episode, which was like you could tell that like some set designers spent a lot of time and put a lot of love and decorating every part. And I'm worried I'm gonna walk into the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, and there's gonna be like
Just one giant flat
like,
screen.
a giant like rocket standing somewhere, and then like
No,
bunch
a
of,
dude
like,
in a rocket
bullshit-
raccoon
yeah.
costume.
Well, this is actually like a thing that bums me out about the direction that Disney stuff is taking, the theme parks stuff. So like have you seen the Japanese Pirates of the Caribbean?
No.
What?
So first of all, it's fucking incredible. It's like, wow. But
What do they do that the English one does not do?
right, what they do is have huge video screens. So like you'll go
Oh,
through
the tunnel and the
and so like there's a
watershed.
couple animatronics, but then you go through and then it's just like this huge like I think it might be curved like video screen that just like takes up your entire field of vision, and it's like super incredible, but it's just a video screen, and I think that there's something just a certain je ne sais quoi about like what's interesting about those rides and those experiences is exactly what you're talking about. It's the set design, it's the costuming, it's the fact that you're
Right.
looking at a real
And it-
thing.
and it's
Well,
creepy. Like the first time I got to it, I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah, this
legit
is, like,
scared.
it's a little spooky.
I don't know what's
But
going
and
on.
also, like,
I've never been to Japan. I saw
Yeah,
this
so
on YouTube.
No one here.
the thing about Japan too is that not I guess who has been to Japan? It's me.
This motherfucker.
There was a fuck you. What's his face? Who's the actor that plays Jack Sparrow?
Oh, that is
Johnny Depp.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Okay. Johnny Depp.
Deep.
Fuck you. Kiefer Sutherland hasn't been anything good.
Sorry.
Jack's
Stabbing. Fuck.
I forgot his name again. Like the 10 seconds that it's
Johnny
told
Depp.
me. Johnny Depp went to the Pirates of the Caribbean ride and stood in a place like right next to the other, like the animatronic Johnny Depp, and was like waving at people, and people were really confused. Apparently, Disneyland's like, you need to stop doing that because he's done it before.
He like really likes that character.
He wasn't even the main character in the first movie,
I know.
and then it just like
It
took
just
off.
turned into-
it just took
yeah.
off. I really enjoy those movies.
Flandersification, Flanderization is that what it's called?
We need to make more. Talk about creativity being dead in movies. Don't even bring up Pirates of the Caribbean. How many Pirates of the Caribbean movies are there? They have explored every possible like paranormal narrative they can from the lens of pirates. There's nothing else they can do.
Redbeard,
The first one was cool.
Whitebeard.
The first one was great.
I like the
liked
trilogy.
first one. The second one was good. The third one had the creepy song in the beginning, and that's it. There's nothing else.
The second one was fucking rad. The third one had the fucking whirlpools and the fight with the
Whoa!
the goddess
whirlpools
and the guy with the
What?
tentacles.
How
Fuck you!
crazy.
It was
Fucking
great.
whirlpools.
Also,
Yeah.
those movies are filmed
Get
in
real.
Ensenada. Love that.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
they park the boat in the pier, and you can see it. You can jump the fence and touch it, and then the cops come out.
the Disney police.
It sounds like you're speaking from experience.
No, I don't do anything
There's
illegal.
actually Disneyland park riders that like circle around outside. The Disneyland has a stream that connects directly to the port of Ensenada and then cycles back around. It takes like 3 years.
to LA.
Yeah.
I just want to go into the ride and leave.
I really like Disneyland. I wish that the lines weren't
Fucked.
super bad. Yeah.
Just too much people
I
there.
haven't been in a long time, but I remember the that like line ticket thing that they were doing seemed to kind of make it a little bit better because you could at
Fast
least
Pass?
go do something else
Fast
instead
Pass?
of yeah.
Yeah. So that's what people do now.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people, so you
Yeah.
even
Right.
if you know about
even
how
the fast pass
passes-
line, what you're really doing is you're committing like your hour and a half wait into a 20-minute wait, but you still end up because you go get so at the beginning of the day you pick up all your fast passes, but then you have like
Oh, can you pick a time?
No, you go to the machine, you hit the button, and then it'll tell you come
You just
back
go
at
straight in the queue?
Come
Oh,
back
okay.
at this time.
Yeah, so what you do is you try and pick up all your fast passes early, and then you have like 2 hours to kill before your first fast pass time. So you use that time to wait for a ride. So even though you're commuting most of your wait into like a 20-minute thing, it still takes like you're still gonna end up sitting 2 hours in line, singing like in 99 bottles of pop on the wall because you and your friends have figured out that you all hate each other. It's amazing what you learn about everyone else inside the Indiana Jones line. But
So here's a So here's a question.
You can take your shoes off.
Do you think that Disneyland has a responsibility to the sort of to American culture? Do you think that I understand that it's a purely commercial enterprise, right? But
Right.
it has so effectively sort of inserted itself into the fabric of American culture, and particularly childhood and like childhood memories. And
They still they're
do you think
still
they
doing
have?
that? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that they have a responsibility to that culture that they're now like the guardians of, or the
Well, I think that Disney is the king of compartmentalizing. Like they own, I forget what studio it is, but they basically I think they were responsible for Kill Bill. Like they were the company that funded it.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Touchstone, right?
yeah.
Whoa, oh, okay.
Because I think they have money.
Right,
They
right.
own Touchstone. So like what Disney, of course, like I think they're way bigger than just like childhood. I think that Disneyland is geared towards that way, and because Disneyland is geared toward that way, it's naturally going to just be like sort of protective and like very safe keeping with its IP. But also they still get to do the blood. They still get to do the cussing.
Marvel.
They just don't call it Disney.
I guess what I'm saying is it's less. I guess I'm saying less like about that, and more about like, for instance, like something that me and like, for instance, my dad could share is like our memories of our childhood memories of riding Pirates of the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
Or we could share those moments. There's this. They went out of their way to make themselves, like, their IP, both in the parks and in the films, synonymous with like childhood experience.
Yeah, but I think that's true for us and maybe for like your parents, but like for like kids now, and I've got no idea if this is true or not because lol, I'm not a kid, but what it means and the things that you like as a child now are completely different, I think, from what I liked as a
What's
kid.
out there? Yeah. So what's out
And
there?
I think like there's some commonality. Like of course, the Star Wars is still big. There's still the Scooby Doo. Like I know there's still
Mickey
Scooby Doo
Mouse.
cartoon. Mickey, like people still like Mickey, I guess. But
you guess.
but like they're updating the Star Wars ride.
Mm-hmm.
They've updated, like Space Mountain isn't just Space Mountain anymore. It's like something else now.
Wait, they took away the Michael Jackson thing.
I didn't know
that was a while ago.
I didn't know
That was a while, but I got to try it again, and
Well,
it's just like
What
super
was
rad.
the Michael Jackson thing?
It was like he's in space, and
Yeah,
it's like
it was
like a
their
musical thing, and then the
3D, like-
floor moves.
Yeah,
It was
It's in
nice.
Futureland.
Yeah,
or
it's-
Tomorrowland. Or
yeah, whatever. It was nice. It was cool, but they took it away, and that was like a thing.
Captain Eco, right?
They still do a Waterworld at Universal Studios. You know how insulting that is?
Waterworld, really?
Yeah,
Like,
they have a Waterworld live show. They got rid of the Simpsons like VR experience for something else.
Oh,
I forgot what they got rid of it for. It was something bad though. But they still do a fucking Waterworld live show that's like huge budgets where like the thing crashes through the wall and water pours out. I hate Universal Studios. It's the worst fucking theme park in the entire universe. There are people that get season passes to Universal Studios for the sole purpose of running the stairs between the upper and lower park. And I think to myself, if your theme park is only good for exercise, you got a bad fucking theme
wait,
park.
really?
Yeah. We went there. We went there for a band trip, and I saw like 4 or 5 dudes in like the short shorts and the joggers and the tight like Nike sports tees that wick sweat, so you smell less bad. they were all, you know, they had their sun visors and fanny packs on, and they were all just like,
Well, now that you can't go there and get in the studio audience for a Nickelodeon game show involving slime, I mean, why would anyone bother?
aren't they bringing that
I-
back though?
I just wanna get
Don't
slimed.
they have like the live shows?
Look, I just want to get slimed.
Why? It
I don't-
looks
just-
gross. It looks icky.
It
and
probably
gross.
feels gross and tastes gross, but whatever. A lot of things do that. A lot of things are like that.
You have strange, just
you-
like. No, go ahead.
Do you know about this slime trend among the tween girls? That this is a thing.
No.
You make slime out of glue and borax, and you get your fingers all pretty, your fingernails done all good, and then you do YouTube videos of just like squishing it. It's like the new unboxing. It's
Oh,
like,
that's like the new eating.
Yeah.
The new like
it's like the new
pretty-
eating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
It's what
no,
people
it's the
do instead
new-
of eating now.
It's the new
yeah.
pretty girls eating food. Thing.
Did they say like ASMR in
It's like
capital letters?
it's not AMSR because it's not auditory. It's like a visual thing, but it like apparently supposedly like kind of scratches the same itch for people. People are
Strange.
weird.
Yeah.
Shall we hit it up?
Oh yeah. So here, give me some Getchcam. Thank you for coming to the Scofler podcast. If you are watching this on YouTube, there was more show after this, but this is where we decided to cut off for the after show. So if you've enjoyed this and you want to be live, come see us next Saturday, where you can catch the whole show live. Yeah, it'll be a great time.
Oh, and wait, and communism will win.
All right, everyone.
Bye.